by the National Infantry Association to spouses that help the soldiers of any Army organization, specifically the infantry. I could think of no military spouse, Heather, that's done more for the infantryman than you, both when you and Shannon were in, and then also since he's gotten out, because you have stayed very, very close to us. You stayed very, very close to the alumni and to No Slack. And so, without further ado, and I want to thank Kevin Mott, who's a major former No Slack member who is joining us virtually, that actually put Heather in for the Shield of Sparta. And we have not had an opportunity to present to this award formally, so we're going to do that today. So Kevin, thank you for what you've done in remembering soldiers that you have had in the past and the traditions here of No Slack. And I know Heather's very appreciative. So without further ado, Heather, why don't you come up here? And we'll publish the orders.
Attention to orders. It is without reservation that I nominate Heather Corbin for the Shield of Sparta Award. As the spouse of a non-commissioned officer, she provided outstanding support to soldiers and their families for 16 years. Throughout multiple deployments, Mrs. Corbin provided direct support to wounded soldiers and their families. Even after Sergeant First Class Corbin's time in the Army ended, Mrs. Corbin still continued to support the No Slack community. To moving soldiers around Clarksville, Tennessee area to hosting a No Slack reunion every year, Mrs. Corbin has embraced No Slack. Mrs. Corbin's contributions to No Slack and our soldiers has shown through her dedication and love to the infantrymen of 2nd Battalion, 327th Infantry Regiment, No Slack, presented under my hand on the 17th day of October 2020.
Watch him hand, sir.
Got it.
Photos. I'm gonna zoom in for you, Kevin.
Give a round of applause.
Thanks, buddy.
Shannon, why don't you come on up?
Here,
All right.
I'm gonna hold it. I'll hold it for you.
Get on over there.
Obviously, everybody knows Shannon, so I don't think I have to do a whole lot of introduction here. But obviously, Shannon and his wife both contribute to the No Slack legacy, both in and out of uniform, and they consistently have hosted this reunion. Sad to say this is probably the last one, but they're going to continue passing that tradition down because they've set a high standard here. Shannon was awarded the Order of St. Maurice, which is the patron saint of the infantry. And it was, as I found out from him, that it was never actually formally presented. So what we're going to do today is award the Order of St. Maurice to Shannon. The Order of St. Maurice is given to someone who has given to the infantry at the highest possible level. Obviously, someone who's deployed to combat with the best infantry unit in the United States Army for as many times as Shannon has done, in my opinion, deserves a heck of a lot more. But at a minimum, what we're going to do today is present him the highest achievement award that the National Infantry Association has to give, and that's the Order of St. Maurice. And it'll be a medal that I hope he hangs and wears proudly, and then obviously a certificate here that he will frame, and then put up in this new home here in Florida, potentially. But without further ado, let's publish the orders. The Order of St. Maurice.
Attention to orders. Appearing before a most arduous and discriminatory committee of tried and proven Army infantrymen and infantry patriots, be it known that Shannon Corbin was tested and found worthy of a special recognition for outstanding contributions to the community of the Army Infantry, and is hereby inducted into the Honorable Order of St. Maurice for conspicuous accomplishments as an infantryman. St. Maurice is the embodiment of courage, justice, commitment to principle, leadership, and gallantry. So true, the aforementioned individual embodies these qualities and represents excellence in the infantry. Therefore, the Chief of the Infantry and the President of the National Infantry Association acknowledge that this patriot is due special honor and respect for now and posterity, given under my hand this day, 17th day of October 2020.
A round of applause.
know if we can or not.
Heather, we got a couple more things here to do. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a big surprise for Heather. She did not know this was coming. So Tammy Gableman, who was the Brigade Command Sergeant Major's wife of the previous Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major Gableman, put together an award for military spouses inside of Bastogne that I think is very, very special. It's called the Angel of Bastogne. It's named after a woman named Renee Lemaire. And Renee Lemaire was a Belgian nurse who died on December 24th, 1944 during the defense of Bastogne. She died while giving aid to wounded American soldiers of the 327th Infantry Regiment during the defense of Bastogne during a German bombing raid. And so what Tammy Gableman decided to do is that, while soldiers are deployed forward, there's an entire grouping of family that support that soldier and that give them aid and give them support. And so in memory of Renee Lemaire, and to represent and acknowledge and honor the sacrifices and the work that spouses and families do for all of us that are deployed, she put together this award named after Renee Lemaire called the Angel of Bastogne. And so I talked to the brigade commander about a week ago and asked him if he'd be willing to sign off to award the Angel of Bastogne to Heather Corbin. And so he asked, okay, what has she done? I went through the litany of things that she has done for No Slack and for alumni of No Slack. He stopped me about a quarter of the way through. He's like, Joe, I got it. This woman obviously deserves this award. It's been given to less than 10 people at this point, so it's a pretty high honor. And I could think of no one better to give this to than you, Heather. And I'm really honored to be able to present this here today. So without further ado, let's read the citation on the Angel of Bastogne.
Attention to orders. For your continued enthusiastic service and loyalty to the soldiers and families of No Slack and 1st Brigade Combat Team, while serving in the Battalion Soldier Family Readiness Group from 1999 to 2007 and 2009 to 2012. Your planning, coordination, and mentorship were a force multiplier and directly contributed to the battalion's and brigade's successes. Your actions are forever recognized by the Bastogne Brigade and the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault. Signed, Robert G. Bourne, Colonel, Infantry Commanding.
Round of applause, please.
Thank you.
And then one last award. Shannon, come on up, please.
Oh, God.
So this is a special award that Sergeant Major and I had talked about doing, and there's really two parts of this. So about a few months back, in my office, we were chatting about how do we continue to honor the legacy here. And Sergeant Major was like, sir, No Slack in its name, something that we should always remember. And First Sergeant Raymond Benson is an individual that needs to be remembered. And so we talked about it, and he's actually going through the process right now to make an official award that we're going to try to award inside of No Slack every year to an NCO who represents the life and legacy of Raymond Benson, i.e., and they represent the motto of No Slack and what it means to be a No Slack soldier. We also want to present it to friends of No Slack or people outside of the active duty force inside of No Slack today that continue to support the legacy and continue to live the lifestyle and the code that is the No Slack motto. And so as the first recipient of the First Sergeant Raymond E Benson Award to someone who has continued to live by the No Slack motto, Sergeant Major Doherty and I want to present to you, Shannon Corbin, the first Raymond E Benson Award for No Slack. So without further ado, please.
Attention to orders. It is without reservation that I award Sergeant First Class Retired Shannon Corbin the First Sergeant Raymond E Benson Award. First Sergeant Raymond E Benson famously coined the slogan, "No slack," as his men would plead for slack in the jungles of Vietnam. He would reply, "You get no fucking slack around here." As no slackers today salute and sound off with No Slack, First Sergeant Raymond E Benson's troop did the same with their greeting of the day. No slack, Sarge. Sergeant First Class Shannon Corbin embodies No Slack, and it is shown through his dedication and service to the infantrymen of 2nd Battalion 327th Infantry Regiment, no slack, presented under my hand on this 17th day of October 2020. Signed, Joseph V. De Silva, Lieutenant Colonel, Infantry Commanding.
I got nothing. I dedicated like 20 years of my life to this battalion. Every tactical thing I ever did was with no slack. It's kind of pretty much it. Why don't you push? How about that? Thank you guys very much. I was not expecting that, and no fucking slack.
Thank you.